Welcome. Today from Afros, I'm here with my colleague Nirdosh Kohra, who is a doctor, and today we'd like to talk about integrative, holistic approach to the medicine. And Nirdosh is an expert, founder of Bodhi Medicine. He's teaching all over the world, also conscious medicine. And I'm very fascinated by this subject, especially how we can bring medicine into today's world, the medicine that is holistic, that is based on our body, our emotions, feelings, and not using the drugs. So I will pass the mic to Nirdosh and we will start some interview.
Thank you, Nisarga. So it's a pleasure to be here with Nisarga. We've known each other for many years, and it's so beautiful to feel everything you're doing, also with all the work you're doing around the world. And it's very nice to meet you again here in Afros. Yeah, this is a place where we have shared time together, and it's beautiful because I work here some months of the year. I practice my holistic integrative approach to healing, and it's beautiful to be in a place like this in nature, because it's so nourishing for the body, for the soul. So it's very nice to meet both of us here, and so I'm grateful for this interview.
Yeah, beautiful to have this interview also here in Greece in the summertime on Lesbos Island in the meditation center Osho Afros. So
you can even hear the cicadas in the background. It's beautiful weather here. We're between the olive trees and the grapevines. So what better to have an interview here?
Yeah. So Nirdosh, if you can give your understanding and your vision on healthcare today, and like holistic approach to health, and what is in the first place, what is health, and how we can stay healthy without using drugs or medication.
Well, health nowadays it's like one of the main focus in everywhere in the world for in an educational, political scale, worldwide. Health is a huge subject today, because we are going really through a big health crisis worldwide. This is unfortunately the actual situation where we're living in right now. Basically because the medical system doesn't function. It doesn't work. We have the most advanced technology ever. The medical system, the Western conventional allopathic medical system, has taken over most first world countries, at least, and many others. And basically that approach is not functioning, because there's more disease, there's more chronic disease, constantly more diagnoses coming up. So in my experience throughout these years of working, I find that the best way is to have the most holistic approach possible to the human being, including as many approaches possible to see the human being as a whole, not just the physical body, not focusing on a symptom or on an organ of the body, but on the whole human being as a whole. And in that aspect, that's usually how I work individually, and also when I give workshops or trainings. Basically, seeing that we cannot really separate the physical body from our thoughts, from our emotions, from what we eat, from our daily activities, from our environment, from our conditioning, or everything we're carrying from the past, and many other dimensions. So it's to really be able to approach health in a conscious way, we need to approach as many as possible each area of a human being, and therefore we can really come back to a harmonious state of well-being. And it's really an art. It's really an art. Like that's why I love to do this, because it's something that is never the same. There's no way to give one treatment for one disease, because this is how medicine works. They just try to find a diagnosis, which is just a tag, a name for what a person has, and therefore when they have the diagnosis, they give a medication. It's very mechanical in a way how medicine works, but there's no way to bring real healing like that. In my experience, to bring health, we need to focus on an individual. on a human being as a whole. So we need to have empathy, we need to have connection, we need to have trust, we need to have understanding between each other, and to cover as many areas as possible that can be the cause, or where there can be imbalances that are causing the symptom or the disease in the person. And if we can approach it in connection with the person, if we can really establish a common or a togetherness working through this, it's amazing what can happen. And I've witnessed healing of all kinds of diagnoses and disease throughout the world, and it's really my passion to work with people in this way.
It's beautiful what you said also about that wholeness and that whole approach to human being. But there's something I read lately, and I want to ask you about what you think of it. I read an article which says that a big amount of healing, maybe like 60-70% of healing, happens to our clients because they believe.
Yes.
They believe and they trust, and it's very interesting because it makes me realize that actually there is so much healing happens because of what happened for the client in their system, how they approach the healing and how they believe in what we present to them. What do you think on that?
This is, in my experience, absolutely true. And not only in my experience, we have so many medical studies reported in many of the medical journals that study, medically we call it the placebo effect, which is not my favorite word to use because it's deeper than that. But it's when the person really receives the support they need, the body itself creates the healing processes needed for whatever situation the person is encountering. So even in medicine, 60 to 70% of the healing effects of all the medical allopathic treatments are due to this effect, not to the chemical effect of the medication. And this is proved. So usually we think that the medication cured us, from a symptom or disease, but in reality it's 60 to 70% the effect that the person experiences just by feeling supported by the doctor or the health practitioner. Sorry.
So that's amazing. So now the second question is, what is the field? How do we build that trust and that heartful space so the client can tap into this healing vortex where they can really change something, when they can really go through transformation? How to provide that platform. And I think this platform, for example, like here in Osho Afros, this is a place where I come since 10 years, and it's for me like a healing place where I feel like I can drop into rest, I can drop into meeting friends, into good food, into being on the sun, and I think this somehow for me, coming here with a lot of anxiety lately from overworking and stress and tiredness, already in 1 week I feel like I'm back to my almost full potential. So this is for me interesting, how tapping into this healing vortex can tremendously affect our health.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's like I resonate so much with what you say, because when I arrived here 2 months ago, I had gone through a very intense period, really unexpected, very strong situations I went through in my life. And I was coming with a big tension load and some fears, because it was quite intense what I faced. And just by arriving here, feeling the nature, just feeling embraced by the nature, friends around, the meditation field, I started doing the meditations, and just the sounds, the sun, the wind, my whole system immediately starts coming back to harmony. Just that has an incredible effect. And there are so many studies now done, even they give names to these new sciences, like forest healing, and there's all these kind of studies that they do, just proving scientifically the healing effects of nature. So here, for example, is we have the healing effects of nature just by watching, listening breathing in the scents of the rosemary, of the lavender, which we have right in front. This is already healing by itself. And then we have, for example, a meditation field where we all get together various times in the day and we meditate with different techniques. Some of them help to release tensions actively from the body, and some of them are more passive, just to have space to allow the mind to slowly calm down, allow the body to do what it needs to do by itself. One of the most amazing things that I've discovered in these years of research and practice with my patients is that healing happens through the body, by the body itself. We have this belief that healing comes from the outside, as if a pill will cure me or a supplement will cure me. And yes, many times they do help. Certain medications, certain herbs, certain supplements, certain therapies, they definitely help. But in my experiences, all of these methods are a support for the body to do the healing itself. So the healing happens through the body. This body has evolved for millions of years, has encountered all kinds of extreme situations throughout history, and has developed these inner mechanisms to, after going through strong, stressful situations, extreme situations, either of hunger or wounds or whatever, the body throughout these millions of years has developed these inner mechanisms of self-healing. And what we're encountering today in the world is that people don't give the body the support or the means that it needs to do these processes on its own. People are undernourished, they don't eat well, they are overstressed, so there's so much tension which produces chemicals in the body that don't allow these healing effects to happen in the body. Plus many other situations that are happening around which interfere with the natural healing effects of the body. So that's one of the main causes why there's such a health crisis nowadays.
And you said health crisis, and I have been also working with myofascial energetic release, which is very effective method for pain syndrome. And I know many researchers, for example, the latest research from European Health Institute, that in last 4 years there was over 200 million people suffering in Europe from pain, from chronic pain. That means that for a certain period of time we are not able to do normal activities like bending down to pick something up, or going in the car, or even waking up from the bed. And just to put it into perspective, 200 million people is 30% of population of Europe. That's like crazy. 3 people out of 10. So it's like huge epidemic, and as you said, it's crisis. So this what you said before about the lifestyle, about being overstressed, undernourished, and also I feel it's about emotions, unexpressed emotions, feelings, and losing connection with nature, having time to meditate, having time to also nourish ourselves and be in peace, creates that crisis that we're facing in Europe at the moment. I think all over the world. It's not just Europe. Probably United States is probably even worse. I don't know statistics, but my really interest is to study this subject and bring awareness to as many people as possible, how we can tap to this wisdom of the body that you mentioned, that this is the body that heals, and creating that platforms all over the world that people can come and reconnect the connection to the body, nourish the body, release the stress, tensions from the body, and change the patterns that create the pain in the first place. It's not about taking pills. It's not about looking for shortcuts for pain. Sometimes we need maybe a little bit more longer time to find what is the symptom and how I can change my lifestyle, how I can change my conditioning to go back to myself and heal and live pain-free.
That's something I like of what you said, because you said to reconnect, and to reconnect with nature, to reconnect with what our body needs. There's one factor which is very present here where we are right now, like in Osho Afros, which is the human connection also. And this is the more I work, the more I experience, I see is one of the most essential elements that we are lacking today. And when we do get it, when we really experience human connection, the healing effects this has in the body are unbelievable.
Yeah.
Proved like with so many scientific research that has happened. But what does this mean? It means like real human connection, meaning connecting and being able to share in an open, heartful way, being sincere, being able to express what we feel, express our emotions, being able to have a physical contact, to hug, to feel the person, which is something inbuilt in our DNA. It's a need that we all have since we are born, which is one of the things we are lacking the most in society nowadays. We do have all these social media connection, and we do meet people in our work environment and on the street, but this felt connection is almost absent in most of the population. So this brings another kind of undernourishment that has very, very important effects in our health. So
yeah, beautiful what you said. Yeah. So thank you guys for watching our video.
Yes.
It was pleasure to talk to you,
Thank
Nirdosh.
you.
And I would like to leave you with this thought, the last thought of Nirdosh. Connect with people around you, reach out, have an eye contact, have some deeper conversation with your friends or family, have a hug, and really that human connection is so important in our life. That's why I love coming here to Afros, because there is so many great, beautiful people that are open-hearted and intimate, and this is where really I rest, I take a lot of healing, and I love sharing myself. So create your community around and be intimate and stay healthy. Thank you for watching.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
See you.
See ya.